Hey, my beautiful people, it's Gracie here once again. Welcome back to the channel if you are a returning subscriber. And of course, if you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for considering subscribing to the channel. I want to say thank you so very much to everybody that has subscribed. You guys have humbled me. So, overwhelmed, if that is the right word to even use. Yes, I am overwhelmed by the reactions, by the subscriptions. I grew from 87 to I think currently 100 and something, like 116, 17. I don't know. I want to say thank you so much to everybody that has subscribed. Truthfully, I'm overwhelmed. And you can see that. So, thank you so very much. If you haven't subscribed, consider leaving that subscription right down here because that motivates me. So, not that I don't believe in myself, but the fact that you guys have chosen to believe in me, it is amazing. Thank you so much. Well, away from that, today we are going to watch a video together, actually, a clip, a simple small clip together, and we are going to react to it together. Let me know what you think about this video. In this video, it's a Ugandan sister that is living in America that is exposing what the West tells about Africa, and she's exposing the opposite of what is going on. Let's watch the clip and let me know what you think. Let's go.
So every time I come on here and tell you guys about the African continent and how it is not all the lies that people have fed each other, like it's starving, all people are poor, it does not have food, people are sick, they're dying, this. It is not all that. We have people in the comments that think I am crazy, I'm lying, you're making up stuff, because in their minds, Africa could never. Let me put this in clear language that if you speak English and can comprehend it, you will understand. The same company that makes and drops off poor people on the sides of the streets in America, addicts that can't keep a job in America. We all know the medical care system is crazy in America. It's crazy expensive. If people can't afford to pay insurance or they get sick, they will be paying thousands in bills of medical care. And if they can't pay, they'll be living in debt. We know about the foster care systems in America. They are always full, kids being bounced around from home to home. We know about the food stamps. We know about the long lines at the kitchen soup centers for people just to get a bowl of what to eat. We know about homeless shelters where homeless people can go just to sleep for a night, and during the daytime they have to leave. My list can go on and on and on. This same company is making and dropping off the same product on the African continent and anywhere else in the world. Now, are all these things that I mentioned make up America? Are all the people in America homeless? Are all the people in America starving? Are all the children in America homeless? No, this same idea applies to the African continent. We all know how the system is against vulnerable people, not even making excuses for anyone anywhere. Once you stop working with the system becomes your enemy. If you don't work that extra shift, you're still gonna have bills. A big percentage of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. If you have an unplanned emergency in America and you cannot afford to handle it, life will quickly kick you onto the streets like you have never worked a coin in your life. And when you're homeless, the longer you stay homeless, it's harder to get a job. It's harder to get an address where mail can be sent, a stable home. It's harder to build your credit score if you ever wanted to buy or build anything big for yourself in this America. But anyway, I could go on and on and on about these things. But let me bounce my question back to you. Are these people acting in America? Is it a joke? Do they just wake up and choose to be homeless?
Thank you for watching the clip together with me. Africa is not an exception from any other side of the world. Each part of the world has its own problems. It's just that some of us don't have time to actually come out here and start talking about other people's problems while we have our own. Sometimes we choose to handle our own problems and move on and leave others to do the same. What the West does is actually leaving their own skeletons, and they come to actually talk about others. And you all know that for all the entirety of human life, the West has been such a bully to everyone. And Africa is one of the targets that has been hit the most. Makes me wonder if Africa is as bad as they portray it. Why do they keep coming back? Do you know what that tells me? That tells me that this continent has a lot of potential that they don't want anyone else to actually see. When there are a lot of people that are suffering with mental health in America, and the system keeps putting people on medications, antidepressants, anxiety pills, and stuff like that, so that they still keep making money. Because they know once they come to this continent, they are going to experience love like never before. The welcome, the friendliness, the community that exists in Africa that actually takes care of each other. And that's what they don't want you to see. Well, they say Africa has starving kids. I feel like our sister said, is so many starving people in America. The level of homelessness in America and the West in general is alarming. And when we talk about people that are addicted to drugs that can't find, jobs to actually do, and they resort to being in gangs, in Africa, you've never heard of a gang. Makes me wonder, is this something that they are actually trying to do intentionally just to make sure they keep their own people in, problems? If you hear of Africa being poor and wars that are happening and how insecure or unsecure Africa is, these wars are actually sponsored by the West, so that they actually are able to, push their own interests, because behind the scenes, they're actually looting and stealing our resources. If they tell you Africa is poor and you believe it, yes, you have every right to believe it. And I know a lot of you are asking, if Africa is as good as you portray it, why are your people actually running and fleeing the continent to actually come to the West? Well, who wouldn't want to go look for greener pastures if they see it anywhere else? In fact, majority of Africans that are leaving the continent to go look for greener pastures are actually less. Statistics show that most of them are actually within the continent and they are hustling and working, right? But at the same time, if America is as great as it is portrayed out there, why is 9 million of Americans living outside of America? That tells you that you've been told, they've been showing you only one part. There is life elsewhere and you should try it. Okay? So while they keep telling you that this and that about Africa, and they show you kids with popping stomachs and flies running, flying around their nose, what they don't show you is coffee shops and bars and luxurious restaurants and hotels where they spend their vacations once they come to the continent. So they want to show you only that, so that that picture is stuck here in the head, because it is very easy to control an ignorant fool than actually controlling someone that has knowledge and is, adventurous to actually find out what is else, what else is out there. So, and much as they say, of course, there are places that are poor and there are places that are also good. The credit system in America is not a bad thing, and I'm glad you guys have that. But once you have you find an African with a house that looks maybe funny to you, that house is actually built and is owned by that particular individual, right? So they are not worried of being pushed out of their houses to go homeless on the street. Why they say we starve? Actually, Uganda itself, the country I come from, has the capacity to feed the entire East African community. In fact, Africa together is capable of feeding the West. How many of you can afford eating organic foods in America? Some of you, whenever you look and put your eyes there, like to see something organic, something tells you, no, that's too much. But in Africa, we eat organic and it is all grown by us. And that's why you guys sometimes suffer with mental health issues because your body is not in tune. Your body is telling you, I'm suffering. How many of you have issues with your stomachs because of what you are eating? You've been fed poison not from food alone, but with everything that you see on the TVs too. So, while you think Africa is poor, there's another side of Africa that you need to explore. And I'm not calling everybody to come. I'm only telling those that have already had the call to come to the continent. If you feel like it's not for you, well and good. Nobody's blaming you for not coming. It's okay, you can stay. But for those of you that feel like you want to see what else is out there to explore and see other fishes in the ocean, Africa is right here. Okay? Another thing that I wanted to bring out is how they normally put out Africa being beggars and that and that. I feel like beggars are everywhere in the world, isn't it? When we talk about the West, begging is actually like a profession. Here it's not, you know? But of course, people are going to beg, all right? So I feel like sometimes it's not also good for us to pay attention to people who are intentional to being ignorant because they will always come out with a rebuttal about this and that. But have you dared yourself to actually come and see what is happening on this beautiful continent? Okay? Anyways, there's so much that we would have said. But why are we putting this information right now? Because Africa has been put out there in the negative picture and everyone thinks it's all negative. But America and the West is not all the rainbows and unicorns as well. There's so much in the closet that is not put out there. And in fact, most of us, what we have seen is actually, the good part. That is why most of us run and come to you, but get shocked when we find everything actually somehow similar to what is happening in our own continents. While you think some Africans come to your countries and they don't want to leave, what you don't know and what you're not told is actually most of these Africans are actually saving and starting investments in these countries. So while you're there saying this and that, these people are making money both on the continent of Africa and in your countries. And once that time of retirement comes, they are coming back. But guys, what do you think? What do you think? If there's anyone that is staying on the continent, I feel like those stories should be put out there and they should be pushed to actually go viral because, I mean, the lies have been pushed. Why not? Makes me ask myself a question. Why is it a problem when Africans have a problem, but it's not a problem when the West has problems, right? Yeah. But like I said, these narratives are pushed out by people that have their own intentions. It all goes back to power. These people are fighting. When they find that Uganda has fuel, when they find that Uganda has discovered gold, that is when they push human rights to Uganda. But the entire time before discovering that this was happening, they didn't want to know. Makes me remember us saying an old saying that was used by my mother, that nobody cares without a secret intention. Okay? So while these people are saying this and that, they're actually bringing human rights, lecturing us on human rights. But in the end, they are looking at the gold. Okay? But something else I don't want to forget it. Like when they show you the kids that are starving and they have this coming out and the flies are running all over, right? I want them to also show you the luxurious hotels where they stay when they come on vacations. Yes, I want them to show that to you so at least you have a comparison. I'm not trying to compare Africa to the West. We all are different, right? But don't be bullies. Don't be bullies. Let us live our lives in peace. If you don't want to come, it's okay. Stay where you are, you know? Yeah. And let us coexist. But otherwise, guys, what do you think? Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you've watched this far, that means we are coming to the end of the video. If you're among the 90% that hasn't subscribed, please do me a favor and subscribe. It motivates me. I'll continue saying that. It makes me so emotional to know that somebody has subscribed, even if it's one person. It blesses my heart. So if you want to push me out there, please go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment, and let's keep it respectful because I also don't disrespect nobody. So, yes, but welcome to Africa. I'll see you in another one. Bye.